West Ham officially have a new manager. Welcome to the club, Julen Lopetegui. Yes, West Ham Network, it has happened. It's Holly, and today we are going to be having a little chat about West Ham's new manager, Julen Lopetegui. So I am excited. I feel really excited about what the season holds. The season that we have in store is going to be a fun one. Not necessarily because I expect it to be a full 180 on what we've been seeing at the club, but because I think it brings a new opportunity for progress and a more structured approach to the way that we do business, which I think is the most pivotal piece of information that is really going to change, hopefully, what the coming years have in store for us, not just this season, but the years to come, because I hope that we are building a long-term project with Lopetegui at the helm. So, Lopetegui, while he may not have been first choice for a lot of fans, he is an exciting manager. We are looking at a manager that took Sevilla to the Champions League for the first time in their history, not one, not two, but 3 different times in a row. He won the Europa League with Sevilla. He was brought on board by Spain and Real Madrid. He saved Wolves in the Premier League, bringing them from bottom of the league to 7 points from relegation, I believe it was. So if those achievements don't make him worthy of giving it a go at West Ham, I don't really know what would. So one of the interesting points about Lopetegui is he has actually left a few clubs in interesting circumstances, because in 2016 he became Spain manager and he did incredibly, remaining unbeaten throughout his entire time in Spain, winning 14 out of 20 games and drawing the remaining 6 there. But then, just before the World Cup kicked off, I'm sure many of you will have remembered, it leaked in the press that he had agreed to join Real Madrid, and they sacked him just 2 days before the tournament began, in a very, very bold move to make a statement, leaving it very close to when the actual tournament began. But then his time at Real Madrid was very short. It lasted just 14 games, as he oversaw the worst goal drought in the club's history, I've seen it reported as, and then lost 5-1 to Barcelona, which was the final straw. However, some questioned whether it was a poison chalice, with injuries including Carvalho and Marcelo, angry fans, and a lack of stability in the side. Sounds a little bit like West Ham at times, doesn't it? But then with Wolves, after taking the club to safety when the odds were completely stacked against him, he left shortly before the following season began, after issues over transfer funding failed to be resolved. So, what am I most hopeful for? First of all, I would like to think that his no-nonsense approach to having transfer budget at Wolves does suggest that he should have had these discussions with West Ham and should have had to come to some sort of agreement and knowing what's in store, making me hopeful that we might be spending targeted but ambitiously in the coming seasons. And then putting his time at Real Madrid aside, obviously you can't just ignore a whole period of time, but pushing that to the side for a moment, he then went on to successfully manage 170 games with Sevilla, getting an average of 1.85 points per game. Then Wolves, where he did what was needed, and he got 1.3 points per game with a team that was struggling. And to put that into perspective, David Moyes has averaged 1.37 points per game in the Premier League this season. But I would like to think that our team that we currently have is a lot better than the team that Lopetegui had to manage at Wolves in the 22-23 season. So all in all, he has got a very strong managerial CV, and I would like to think that this is going to continue at West Ham. But the thing that I am most excited about, the thing that is really sort of making me feel hopeful about the future of West Ham, and I know I might be the only one, but drop us a comment with your thoughts. It's fine if you disagree. We're all here to have a nice, friendly debate. But what I'm excited about is that if we stick to the traditional role of him being a head coach, we can have clearly identified roles in the club, which is something that I think we've really been lacking. We'd have Lopetegui in charge of getting the best team out there and making the right decisions tactically and getting the most out of each player, and then communicating his needs to Stuyton. Stuyton would then go out and source the best talent within our budget and within our means, and Noble can make sure that the West Ham mentality and ethos is carried through everything that we do, and that the players understand how much it should mean to play for West Ham. And I think that that is going to bring so much structure. We won't have people stepping on each other's toes. We won't need to dilly-dally and take 100 years to actually put a bid in for a player, because we've got 2 people with completely conflicting opinions with who we should bring in. And if we can actually master this and make it a smooth, streamlined process where Lopetegui says who he needs or what our challenges are, and then Stuyton goes out, sources those players, finds them at good prices, makes the negotiations happen, gets them on a plane, brings them back to East London, job's a good one. But the best news for me is that allowing him basically into the team and giving him so much time, I think this is going to be huge for us, because announcing him this early allows him to take over for the start of pre-season and gives him plenty of time before that as well, which includes our 2-week trip to America, where we're going to be playing Wolves, ironically, on the 27th of July and Palace on the 4th of August. So it's the perfect opportunity for him to bond with the team, try out new signings, and work out what is still needed before the window closes at the end of August. And for once, we're actually allowing time for the new manager to find his feet before the season begins. And for me, I'm feeling positive that this is going to allow us to go into the 24-25 season as organised as possible, not chasing our tails, and instead being organised, feeling calm, feeling confident. And I think this also does rub off massively in different ways. Knowing who your manager is means during the transfer window, the players that you sign are going to have confidence of the fact that that manager wants them, which is massive, rather than an unknown manager that you'll be playing under. Imagine saying, do you want to sign for this new job contract? Who's going to be managing you? Or what's the business? And you're like, don't really know, but trust us, it'll be fine. The difference between knowing who you're actually going to be working under, massive. So that's going to be huge. And I just think that he's going to be able to have his impact and obviously have a say in the kind of players that he needs based on the style that he's going to play. It's just a lot less unknowns. Having him in early, getting the signings acquainted with him, and being able to actually bond with them. And because of that, the players should go in feeling confident, feeling like they know what's in store for them, feeling like they know their place in the team, they know how they're supposed to play, rather than going blindly into a new season, having pre-season matches under a different manager, and then starting and being like, okay, let's learn on the job. No more learning on the job, not this season for us. But let us know your thoughts on the appointment of Lopetegui in the comments section down below. I want to hear how you're feeling. I want to hear what you're looking forward to. I want to hear any concerns that you have or any things that you hope to see from him in the coming months. It's going to be an exciting one. And for me, we've got to start it on a high, whether it was who you wanted ideally or not. We've got to give him faith. We've got to back him until proven otherwise. And we've got to go and get some wins. So that's all for me for today. But until next time, have a great day. Here begins a new chapter. And come on, you Irons.